Welcome. In this session, we are going to understand how Hadoop.php takes arguments from a user interface and transfer the arguments to upload underscore file.php, and how upload underscore file.php works in order to process the MapReduce algorithm given through a jar file. Let's get started. So now we'll proceed to the file upload underscore file.php. It's an HTML file. Now on this upload file, you can see that we have a head section in which we have a title and a style sheet available. Then within the body section, we have a division which has a style taken from style.css, and name of the class is login card big. Now in this, we have the alignment towards right. Now we have within that alignment right paragraph, we have an anchor tag. In this anchor tag, we have written a label known as new job, which redirects to Hadoop.php in order to get started with a new Hadoop test or a new job for mining tool. Otherwise, we have one more option known as logout.php. So once you click on this label logout, you will be redirected to logout.php and you will be logged out of the session. Now once we proceed to the bottom, after this paragraph, we have a PHP preprocessor, and all the other lines after this PHP processor are treated as a PHP line of code by the PHP parser. Now we have started the session using session underscore start. All the session variables have been identified and a new session has been initiated with respect to the browser in case if an earlier session was not available. But if you already have a session started, then session will be resumed and all the information like name of the session, which means the name of the user, which is the unique identifier in our case, will be identified and will be treated to process. Now what we'll do, we are going to set the time limit to 0, because as soon as the upload has been done, we want this PHP file to be pre-processed. Now once we have set the time limit to 0, now in the next section, we are going to read the session variable from the browser and we are going to read the name variable. Whatever value has been stored within this name variable, it will be stored into $_name variable, and now with this variable, we are going to use this variable wherever it is required in this code. Now what we have to do, then what we'll do, we're going to read the post request, and from the post request we want to receive value for the key URL data set. The value will be stored in download URL, and we're going to check the parameters which we have received in the post request for the key exist data set. Then we are going to receive a post variable mode, and we are going to store this post variable mode into $mode. Now we are going to check if there is no download URL and there is no existing data set available, then what we'll do, if they both are null, then what we will do, we are going to display an error once if the download URL or an existing data set values are available. Then we are going to execute the else block. Within the else block, what we want to do, first of all, we want to get the path information using the path info function. We are going to specify a path value, and according to this path value, we have specified the path from upload slash name of the user slash base name of the file, which means a file without the extension for the dataset file which we have uploaded will be identified, and path info exception extension is the flag which will automatically identify the path extension of the file, and that extension will be concatenated, and this complete path information with respect to the complete path and the file name with an extension will be stored inside file info. Then what we'll do, we're going to check if the file info is a CSV file, or if it is an XML file, or if it is a text file, only then we are going to process it. Then what we'll do, we are going to check a condition using if, and within this condition we are executing a function file exists. We will specify an argument to this file exists function, and if we get true, then we are going to check and we are going to display that the file which you want to upload is already existing on the server. Otherwise, if the file is not available, then what we'll do, we are going to move the uploaded file. We are going to use the function move uploaded file, and we are going to upload the file to the server with a temporary name, and then once we have done that, we are going to upload that onto a directory. The directory is available on upload directory with the username. Then within that we are going to specify name of the file which we have uploaded. So once this file has been uploaded, we are going to display a message using echo command, and we are going to create a heading. The heading will be created using h2 tag, and dataset upload successful message will be printed on the web page. If the file is not available within the upload section, then what we'll do, if it's not a CSV, TXT or an XML file, we are going to print on the page that only CSV, TXT and XML files are allowed to upload to the server. Then what next we'll do, we are going to get the dataset name, and we are going to check if the dataset is not empty, then the existing dataset will be the dataset name, and else we are going to download the dataset. So in order to download the dataset, we are going to use the function strrpos. To this we are going to specify the download URL, and we are going to specify the position and the time limit, and once we are done, this will be stored inside the POS format. So that will be the download URL. Then what we'll do, we are going to get the dataset name from this download URL. So what we will do, we are going to specify the download URL, and we are going to only get the position from that download URL. So we are going to get the name of the file, and that file will be stored within the dataset name. Once we are done, all these things are comments, so these comments can be removed. Now what we'll do, we are going to execute the system function. Using this system function, we are going to execute a command known as wget from the directory /user/bin, which is by default available on Linux server. We are going to give it a time limit 0, so that we want to quickly get started with the download from a URL. Then we are going to concatenate download URL within this string, and then we are going to specify the output directory in which the URL should download the file. So we are going to download that into www.html upload and in the username directory, and within that username directory we are going to create a file with the dataset name. So once we are done, the dataset will be downloaded and will be available within this upload directory for the user. Now once we have got the directory, now we are going to check if the files have been uploaded, and if we have got the correct file information, then we are going to get the path information for the MapReduce jar file which we want to upload. So the jar file will be identified in the file info. Then we are going to check if the file information is a jar file, and then we are going to check if that jar file already exists on the URL using file exists method. So we are going to check if it already exists, then we are going to display that MapReduce jar file already exists. Otherwise, we are going to use move uploaded file function in order to upload the jar file onto the server using the file tag available in the input, and then we are going to store that with a temporary name, and we are going to upload this to a directory within upload for the username and name of the file. So once the jar file has been uploaded, we are going to display a message using echo command that MapReduce jar file upload has been successfully done. And now what next we'll do, otherwise if the jar file, if we are uploading any file other than jar file, then we are going to get a message that only jar files are allowed. Now what next we want to do, now using the if statement we are going to check if the mode is advanced mode. Then we are going to get the replication factor, name of the function, directory name from the post request, and we are going to store this replication factor into replication number, function name into $function name, which is a PHP variable. So this is a key inside the post request which contains a value, and the value which is available here will be stored within the dir name. So this will be the directory name in which we want to upload the output, and then finally we have the jar file. So in the advanced mode all these things are taken. In intelligent mining mode, replication factor is set as 1. the default function will be taken from mining tool.process a priori a, and the directory will be the default directory in which we want to specify the output. Now what next we'll do, then we are going to echo a message and we are going to display uploading file to Hadoop file system. So at the moment we will upload, first of all we'll upload the file to the server, and then from the server we are going to upload the file to Hadoop file system, which is HDFS. So in order to do that, we are going to use the Hadoop function, and this Hadoop function, so using this Hadoop function is available within the user local Hadoop bin directory, and therein we have a command known as Hadoop. Using this command, we are going to specify an option known as fs. This fs specifies the file system command which we want to execute on the Hadoop file system. Then we are going to execute a Hadoop file system command known as put. Using this, we are going to take a file from the upload directory, from the username directory, and with the dataset which we want to process, and this dataset will be uploaded in the input directory, in the username directory, and with the name dataset, and the information will be given to the output stream, so that if we want to display that on the console, if we get any error, the errors will be displayed on the web page. So now what next we have is, so we can execute this Linux command using the system function in PHP. Using this system function we have executed this command, and then what we did, once we are done with this, we have also executed a list command in order to see the files uploaded within the input directory within the username. So what all files which are uploaded to the file system will also be listed on the web page. So once we are done with this, then we are going to use echo command in order to display the replication factor set using the replication number, and this replication number has been received through the post request at the top here. So now you can see that if we proceed to the top here, you can see that here after the mode numbers and all, we have received the replication number from the post request. So that has been taken within the advanced mode here. So in the advanced mode, we have received the post request, and within that we have identified the key replication factor. This replication factor has been stored into replication number, and this replication number is concatenated here with the replication factor. Once we are done, then we are going to display the function name and the directory name, and once both of these things are done, then finally what we did, we have displayed the MapReduce process data. In order to do this, we have checked if the mode is the advanced mode. So what we'll do, we're going to execute the Hadoop jar file, and this jar file will be taken from the jar file uploaded by the user from the upload directory, and the function which he has specified will be taken in the advanced mode, and then a dataset name from the input will be taken, which will be processed using the jar file, and then finally the output will be stored inside the output directory, and in case if there is any error, that error will be stored into the upload file within the name within the file process.txt. Then what next we'll do, in case if the mode is intelligent mode, inside intelligent mode what we are doing is, we are using this Hadoop command and we are executing jar option. Using jar option, we are specifying a mining tool.jar file which is uploaded in the upload directory, and using this mining tool.jar, we are going to specify the function name. The function name is the default function name, which is mining tool.process a priori a, that will be taken, and the value for this variable is specified above within the mode selection part, and if the mode is equal to our intelligent mode, then the function name will be mining tool.process a priori a. Then we are going to take the input from the input file, and once we are done with the input file, now what next we can do, after this input dataset name, after the processing, the values will be stored out inside the output directory. And now, so here what you have is, the data will be stored within the output directory, and once the data has been stored into the output directory, now what next we have to do, now let's get back here. After setting the replication factors and after getting the list, after setting the replication numbers and functions, then we are going to execute the jar file, and if we are in the normal mode, or that means the intelligent mode, will execute mining tool.jar, and the codes will get executed. So mining tool.jar will be executed and output will be stored within the output directory, and if there is any error stream or whatever the process stream is, that process stream will be stored within the upload file, within the username, within the file process.txt, and then from this process.txt we are going to read the details. So using fopen function, which is file open function, we are going to specify a directory, and from this directory, from the username, we are going to read the process.txt file with the read permissions. Once the file has been read, all the details will be stored into $file1. Now what next we'll do, we are going to check if the file exists or some data exists. Then we are going to get the data from the file1, and then we are going to close the file stream. And once we are done with the data, we are going to display the data using fgetch method, and this file1 information, the contents of file1 will be displayed on the web page with a break. So once we are done with this, we are going to close the file stream using file close function, and then we are going to echo the MapReduce output. Now in order to put that output, we are again going to use system function, and using this system function we are going to execute Hadoop command. Using this we are going to execute a file system command known as cat. Using cat we can get the contents of a file. So we are going to specify the name of the file, and the name of the file starts with part, and all the files with the field part will be accessed, and the output will be stored into a file known as output.txt within the user directory in the upload section. So now what next we'll do, again we are going to use fopen function in order to open the output.txt file with the read privileges. If the file exists, then we are going to get the contents of file, and we are going to display the contents of the file in the MapReduce output. And finally we are going to specify fclose functions. Now, so finally we are going to echo the task completed information, and on the right hand side we have an hadoop.php which will display new job, and there will be a logout section. So this is how our upload file.php works, and all the files which are uploaded onto the server will be processed using this upload_file.php, and using system commands we will be executing all the commands for Hadoop, and we will be processing our jar file. Thank you for watching.